We read in that book, and it came to pass after many days that the word of EZER came to EZER-IAH in the 3rd year. We must know that EZER-IAH is the correct name and not Elijah. His correct name was EZER-IAH. In the 3rd year, saying, Go show yourself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. And EZER-IAH went to show himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. That's another name, the name for the northern tribes, Samaria. They have removed the H and they left the IA. And Ahab called Obadiah, who was the governor of his house. Now, Obadiah loved EZER greatly. He loved EZER greatly. For it was so, when Jezebel cut off the prophets of EZER, that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave, and fed them with bread and water. Here we are getting an outline of there is two forces here. Two forces are here. Obadiah is serving one force, and the other ones, they are serving another force. Here, Obadiah is securing the prophets of EZER in a cave and feeding them with bread and water. And Ahab said unto Obadiah, Go into the land, unto all fountains of water, and unto all brooks. Peradventure we may find grass to save the horses and the mules alive. Remember, Ahab was the king, and Obadiah is working with him. So they divided the land between them to pass through it. And Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself. And as Obadiah was in the way, behold, EZER-IAH, another prophet, Obadiah, who was serving EZER, had the name of EZER, met EZER-IAH, a prophet, met him, and he knew him, and fell on his face and said, Art thou thy master EZER-IAH? And EZER-IAH answered him, I am. Go and tell your master, behold, EZER-IAH is here. Here, EZER-IAH is telling Obadiah to go and let Ahab know that he is here. And he said, What have I sinned, that you will deliver my servant, thy servant, into the hand of Ahab, to slay me? As I, your Redeemer, live, there is no nation or kingdom where my master has not sent. Who is his master? Ahab. Have not sent to seek after you. And when they said, You are not there, he took an oath of the kingdom and the nation, and that they found thee not. And now you say, Go tell my master, who is Ahab, that you are here, and it shall come to pass as soon as I am gone from you, and the spirit of EZER shall carry you where I know not. And so when I come and tell Ahab, and he cannot find you, he shall slay me. But I, your servant, love Aya from my youth. Here he is telling him, I love Aya from my youth. And now you're telling me to go and tell Ahab that you are here. And when the Most High Aya know what Ahab will do to you, Aya will hide you. And when we come back, I wouldn't find you. And Ahab will kill me instead. Was it not told to you by Aya what I did when Jezebel slew the prophets of Aya? He says, didn't Aya told you what I did to protect his prophets when Jezebel was killing them? But who is Jezebel? Jezebel was the wife of Ahab. How I hid 100 men of Aya, prophets, by 50 in a cave, and fed them with bread and water? And now you telling me to go and tell my master, who is Ahab, behold, EZER-IAH is here, and he shall slay me? And EZER-IAH said, as Aya of hosts live, behold, whom I stand, I will surely show myself unto him today. So EZER-IAH said, no, don't be afraid. I would not hide. Aya wouldn't hide me. I will be here. I will stand before him today. So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and told him. And Ahab went to meet EZER-IAH. And it came to pass when Ahab saw EZER-IAH that Ahab said unto him, are you here to trouble Israel? In other words, are you here to trouble Samaria? Are you here to trouble the land? Are you here to cause problem? And EZER-IAH answered, I have not troubled Samaria. I haven't troubled Israel. But it's you that troubling Israel. You that have brought trouble to Samaria. You and your father's house, in that you have forsaken the commandments of Aya. So EZER-IAH is telling him, it is you that troubling the land. You, just like the wicked ones today. When you try to correct them, they're pointing fingers at you. That's what he was doing there with EZER-IAH. So EZER-IAH is telling him, it is you and your father's house, you and your people who have brought these confusion into the house of Samaria. And you have followed Balaam. You see, they have followed Balaam. Baal was a mighty one of the Canaanites. Baal was one of the Canaanite deity that Aya had warned them about when he brought them into the land, and he said, you shall not inquire of the mighty ones, nor call their names in your mouth, nor bow down to them, nor serve them, nor give your daughters to marry their children, nor your sons to marry their daughters. Because if you do so, they will cause you to worship their deity. And Baal was their deity. That's the same Baal that they worshipped in Babylon, in Assyria, under Asheret, in Egypt. That's the same that they're worshiping today as Eloi. So he says in 19, now therefore send and gather to me all of Israel unto Mount Carmel. So now EZER-IAH is telling Ahab the king to call all of the people together unto him in Mount Carmel. And the prophets of Baal was 450. And the prophets of the grove was 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So Jezebel had these prophets, like you have these people worshiping the Virgin Mary today. That was Jezebel, the wife. She had her own league of people worshiping their goddesses, while Ahab had his 400 prophets prophesying Baal. We go down to 20. So Ahab sent unto all the children of EZER-IAH. He's the king. He called all of them and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. So now we have how much prophets? 450 prophesying Baal, teaching Baal to the people. And we also have 400 like worshiping this Asherah, Virgin Mary. And and remember, these are Canaanites deities, Canaanites idols. Lucifer portraying himself in these idols. That's what they are doing there. And he is explaining to you the difference between Ayah and Baal. He is explaining this scripture here is to bring to you the comprehension, for you to comprehend there's a difference between Baal and Ayah. If you notice, the two people who are teaching of Ayah are themselves called by his name. They also is called by his name. So Ahab sent unto all the children of EZER-IAH and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Eliah came unto all the people and said, How long shall you go between two opinions? It's two opinions, it's two systems. One is of Ayah and the other is of Lucifer. These are the two systems. And here Eliah is asking the people, how long will you go between these two systems? You need to choose one. He says, if Ayah is our Redeemer, follow him. But if it's Baal, then follow him. We have to make that choice. Eliah is saying to them, you have to make that choice. You can't go and be to the LORD today and then to Ayah tomorrow. You can't call Ayah today and LORD tomorrow. You can't do it. You must choose one. And he says, and the people answered him not a word. They didn't say a word. Then said Eliah to the people, I, even I only, he was the only one, remain a prophet of Ayah. Remember, I've just shown you 450 prophets of Baal, 400 of the Virgin Mary, they are Sarah. So we have 850 prophets. And there is only one prophet left prophesying Ayah. Only one prophet. In that time, he was the only prophet who is teaching the name Ayah to EZER-IAH. And he says, I, even I only, remain a prophet of Ayah. But Baal's prophet are 450 men. Let me repeat this. But Baal's prophets are 450 men. Just imagine it today, my brothers and sisters. They are in the thousands, hundreds of thousands. Baal's prophets are in the millions over the world. They are in millions. They are worshiping a Canaanite deity, known to them today as Lord God. That's what they are worshiping. The same thing that EZER-IAH is going to prove to them today, that it is wrong to do that. He said, let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under, and call you on the name of your mighty one, who is Baal. Call on the name of your mighty one. And I will call on the name of IAH. Look at it right in your book. You call the name of your mighty one. But for me, I will call on the name IAH. And the one that answer by fire, he will be our mighty one. He is the one that we will worship. He's giving them a test. Brothers and sisters, we need a test today. We need a test today. Our people been doing this for over 400 years with no good result. And they keep worshiping these idols, these deities, that IAH warned us not to do. And he continued. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. They agree. Well, this is fair. This is okay. Let's do this. And EZER-IAH said unto the prophets of Baal, choose you 1 bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for you are many. And call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under. And they took the bullock, which was given to them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal. Look what they call on. They call the name Baal. The same Lord our people is calling on until today. They call on the Lord from morning even until noon, saying, O Lord, hear us, just like they do today. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leap upon the altar like they do today. They throw down themselves in the pews, over the benches on the altar. They throw down themselves and make all this nonsense noise. Say they're speaking in tongues, fooling themselves with evil spirits. And they leap upon the altar that was made. And it came to pass at noon, EZER-IAH mocked them. EZER-IAH started to mock them. And he said, cry aloud, for he is a mighty one. Cry aloud. You say he is a mighty one, so cry aloud. Either he is talking, maybe he's talking to somebody so he can't hear you yet. So keep crying. Or he is pursuing, maybe he's on a journey. Or he is on a journey. Or peradventure he sleep. Maybe he's sleeping. So cry louder to wake him up. And they cried aloud. And they cut themselves. You see, they start offering that same blood. They are offering blood. They are offering their blood. Just like they today, JC blood was offered for them. They like to offer blood to these idols. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner, as they always do, offer blood, with knives and latchets, till the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any to answer. So they got no answer from the Lord, as they will do today, as they have been doing for over 400 years. and they have gotten no answer. Nor any that regarded them. No one will help them, because there is no one to answer them when they call L-O-R-D. And EZER-IAH said unto all the people, Come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him. And he repaired the altar of IAH that was broken down. He repaired it. And EZER-IAH took 12 stones according to the number of the tribe of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of IAH came. You see, the word did not go to these people. The word did not go to these Gentiles. The word did not go to these Canaanites. The word came to us, to the children of Jacob. And he took these 12 stones according to the number of the tribe of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of IAH came. Which was that? What's that word? The name of IAH came. Unto whom the name of IAH, the name IAH came to the children of Jacob, saying, EZER-IAH, EZER-IAH shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar in the name. He built an altar in the name of IAH. He built an altar in the name of IAH. And he made a trench round about the altar, as great as will contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and he cut the bullock in pieces, and laid it on the wood, and said, Fill 4 barrels of water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice. Now, he is putting water on his sacrifice. He is pouring water on his. Remember, theirs was dry. He didn't have no water. And they was calling from morning until afternoon. And no one answered. No fire came. Here EZER-IAH turned now, and EZER-IAH is in the evening. And EZER-IAH is going to do this as an evening sacrifice. And on the wood, and he said, Do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, Do it the third time. And they did it for a third time. And the water ran round about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that EZER-IAH the prophet came near and said, IAH, the mighty one of Abraham, the mighty one of Isaac and Israel, let it be known this day that you, IAH, is the mighty one in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your word. Hear me, O IAH, hear me, that this people may know that you are IAH, the mighty one, and that they has turned their heart, that they may turn their heart back again unto you. Then the fire of IAH fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stone, and the dust, and lick up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, IAH is he, the mighty one. IAH, he is our Redeemer. And EZER-IAH said unto them, Take the prophets of Baal let none of them escape. And they took them, and EZER-IAH brought them down to the brook of Kishon, and slew them there. And EZER-IAH took the prophets of Baal down to the brook of Kishon, and slew them there. My dear brothers and sisters, this is the clearest example that EZER has given us in the book that he has preserved for us by his Holy Spirit and has brought it to us. This is the clearest example that EZER has sent to us through one of his prophets to make us know there is a difference. There is two systems that is in the earth in this shadow of death. There is two systems that are here. And the heathen and with Lucifer is determined to make us believe that it is one and only one system. And that's why they have given you in your book, they left, in some places they left Baal. In your prayers, in your psalms, they left Baal. And at the same time giving you LORD, because they know you does not know the difference. I am here to tell you, my brothers and sisters, that Baal is the same LORD, is the same Canaanite, Babylonian, Egyptian, Roman deity. It's the same one. He was called Balagad in ancient times, and they have brought it to Lord God in our time. It's the same. You can pull it up on Google and check the meaning of the word Baal, and you can check the meaning of the word LORD. Check all the meanings that they present to you, and you will see it is the same thing. It's not different. The Canaanites had it as Balagad. The Romans have it as LORD. The Assyrian had Asherah. The Romans have it as Virgin Mary. It's the same thing. It hasn't changed. The Egyptians had it as Nimrod, Zeus, Tammuz. It's the same thing. Now they bring it to Yeshua, like they had it in our land, Yeshua. These are the names of men and deities and demons and devils. We must turn to the name that he gave us, that all these people, these ancestors are pointing us to. They are directing us and telling us, listen, there is a name. There is a name you have to call. All of them are telling us the same thing. Everywhere you see LORD in your book, that name was taken out. If you don't believe it, then go in the same Google, go to them, go to the dictionary and ask them, who have taken out the name of EZER from the book? Who take the name of the Most High, EZER the Most High, from the book? Who took his name out? If you can't find it that way, ask, who took the name of God out of the book? Because you see, they have done a complete destruction to us. Read Psalm 83, my brothers and sisters. Read Psalm 2 and Psalm 83, and you will get the gist of what is going on here. It's a big thing. It's bigger than you think. This is not just simple. It's bigger than you think. And we have to get to the bottom of it, because I say we have to come to him, seek him with we whole heart, we whole soul. I want you to comprehend what these words mean. Your whole heart, your whole soul, and with all your strength. Think about those three words and see what they mean. See what the word ayah speak unto us when he says, seek wisdom, seek knowledge, seek comprehension. Three more important words. See what they mean. My dear brothers and sisters, we must call on that name. We must know what is the name. We must know it. And I've made many videos explaining to you the name. I pray that you will go and look at them, and then with your book, and get your book. While you're looking at these videos, write down the scriptures, read them, educate yourself. It is the benefit for your life. It's your salvation. Your salvation, my brothers and sisters, your salvation. I'm not doing this for notoriety. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this to build an organization. I'm not doing this to build a cult. I'm not doing this to have followings. I'm doing this for you will be able to gain the wisdom and the knowledge that ayah has given me. I am doing this for you to be able to educate your children, your friends, your family. I am doing this that you will know your Redeemer, your Mighty One, the Holy One of Israel. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to show my face. That's why I don't show my face. I'm not doing this for you to follow me. I'm not doing this for that. I'm putting his word out in the great congregation. I'm calling you unto ayah. I'm doing this so that you will educate yourselves in the word of ayah, that you will comprehend what he is saying to you through the prophets whom he sent in his name with his words unto us. That's why I'm doing this. So I want you to take your book. I want you to take your book. Watch the videos. You don't have to call the names that is in your book. They put all this in every book. That's what they have done to destroy us. But we have to correct it. You see, most of the words was not changed, but the names, that's what they have taken out. And they tell us why. When you look for them who to remove the name from our book, go look, read some of the commentaries. See why they remove it. There is one I read where they tell you that because they wanted to sell this book, and if they put the correct name in it, they would not have been able to sell it, because everybody had already bought this Canaanite name. They have accepted this Canaanite LORD. So they couldn't put, for them to sell the books, for them to make their money, which is a directive from Lucifer. Lucifer is the one that does not want us to know the name of ayah. Who is this Jew that come out and say that his name is too holy to be called? This Jew, what book they read? They read the Babylonian Talmud. They don't read this book. This book wasn't given to them. They have their own book, the Babylonian Talmud. It's a book of magician. Don't be jealous of their wealth and what they have and how they behave. Ayah has already condemned them to death. Ayah has already told them what will happen to them. The only reason these nations are doing what they're doing today, to keep us blind, to keep us dumb, to keep us foolish, is because as long as we stay foolish, as long as we refuse to seek ayah, our Redeemer, they will reign, they will rule. We have to bring their rule to an end. We have to turn to IAH. We have to call IAH. We have to speak to him. We have to tell him we're ready to come back to him. We have to tell him we are ready for him to establish his rulership on the earth. We have to ask him to come to establish his sanctuary upon the earth. We have to do this. That's what we have to do. My brothers and sisters, that's what we have to do.